Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be doing our Monday Night Raw review for July 17th, is it? And this was really the big Monday Night Raw before SummerSlam. Obviously, it's not the Raw before SummerSlam, but we've got a couple of SummerSlam matches set up. We've got Cody Rhodes getting absolutely destroyed in his hometown. Overall, Monday Night Raw was very, very good, and we're gonna review the show because this was probably the best Raw in at least the last couple of weeks. So we got things started with what was probably one of the biggest woes of the year, I would say, besides the Money in the Bank crowd in London in WrestleMania, and it wouldn't last long for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes would come out, say hello to the fans, say hello to his mom at ringside, but in reality, we all knew what was gonna happen. Brock Lesnar wasn't having any of that shit. That boy came out, and he was going to beat Cody's ass in his hometown, maybe deliver a couple F5s. But this man came out and immediately went right up to Cody's family, F5'd Cody on the floor, put him in a Kimura lock, but didn't actually pull, you know how he pulls the arm to break it? He didn't do that. He got into the ring, didn't do it either. But he just left Cody Rhodes in a heap. And Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, just like that, is set for SummerSlam. And there's supposed to be a stipulation. And, it's been rumored that it could be a dog collar match, a Hell in a Cell match. We'll have to wait and see. To me, I think Hell in a Cell would be kind of good for these two. No escape. Cody and Brock just have to beat the shit out of each other. And we don't really see a lot of Hell in a Cell matches involving Brock Lesnar. So I think that would be pretty good. But a great opening segment nonetheless. I think a lot of people saw from a mile away that Cody was going to get his ass handed to him in his hometown, and it did end up happening on Monday Night Raw. Next up, we had Gunther versus Matt Riddle. Nothing special. It wasn't going to be like their Money in the Bank match. And, Matt Riddle can be considered out of the Intercontinental title picture. That man can go back to the mid-card or whatever, because Gunther and Riddle had a good match, but Gunther ended up winning, putting Matt Riddle out of the picture, and now putting Drew McIntyre as the sole person that Gunther has to worry about. And this also lifts up the tease that Gunther may not need Kaiser and Vinci at ringside. Overall, it was a good, solid match, and Gunther's promo was just badass. Anytime Gunther grabs a mic, you better listen, you better stop what you're doing, because when Gunther delivers a promo, you better listen. Next up, obviously, the Judgment Day came out, and this was after Rhea attacked Raquel and Liv. This was supposed to be a build towards, Raquel versus Rhea at SummerSlam. But as you find out, WWE likes to play tricks on us. But the Judgment Day came out, they're all soaking it all in. Finn Balor wants to face Seth Rollins. Damian Priest is Mr. Money in the Bank. Dom has got Wesley, and Rhea Ripley has absolutely no competition whatsoever. But Sami and KO would come out because obviously they would face Damian Priest and Dom, so it makes sense for Sami and KO to interrupt them. But Damian Priest and Dom noticed the little bling around Sami and KO, and Damian Priest suggested that they put the tag titles on the line. And of course, Sami and KO, the epic baby faces that they are, said yes. And even though KO was sick of listening to Dom and Priest, and of course the crowd booed the shit out of that man, because the crowd actually was great tonight. Shout out to Atlanta, Georgia's crowd. You guys were awesome. But, yeah, KO was just funny as fuck, yelling, saying he just wants to punch Dom's face in and all that. Sami and KO, they're just booked really well. And just like that, the main event of Raw became a tag team title match. Next up, we had probably one of the biggest storylines of the night. Chelsea and Sonya Deville and versus a very battered Raquel and Liv Morgan. And obviously you gotta really appreciate the matching gears between Sonya and Chelsea. You may have seen my tweet. Also, if you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at Crispy Wrestling. You'll see the majority of my wrestling content over there. We have over 10K followers, and we're closing in on 11K, which is nuts. But here's Sonya and Chelsea, and obviously they were favored, right? How are WWE going to screw them up this time? Well, they didn't get screwed this time. Sonya and Chelsea are the brand new women's tag team champions. And this is long overdue. I mean, Sonya and Chelsea have done amazing work between the Adam Pearce thing. Putting them together, whoever put them together needs a medal put around them, because this was an awesome decision. And Sonya and Chelsea, I hope they have a long reign. I hope it's just not like, okay, here you go, here's the tag team titles. I hope they have a decent reign, because they deserve it. There's so many storylines you could cook up with Sonya and Chelsea with the tag team titles, and I hope they hold it for long. And overall, the match wasn't anything special. I mean, I didn't expect it to be, but the main thing is that we got what we wanted. Not what everyone wanted, but we got Sonya and Chelsea with gold. And congratulations to Sonya Deville, who finally has gold in WWE. It's been long overdue, and she finally has it. Next up, we have our first official match at SummerSlam made official. Brock versus Cody Rhodes 3 setup. And obviously this could be a stipulation, but I just want to say that the SummerSlam match graphics are hot as hell. That shit is sexy. I mean, anytime a SummerSlam match is made now, I'm just gonna get goosebumps because of the graphics. Definitely better than last year's. I mean, obviously the theme is like a race car, because I think NASCAR is big in Detroit. It's the Motor City. So, yeah. Next up, we had Seth Rollins. He was supposed to deliver a backstage interview, but of course, Finn Balor wasn't to be ignored. He came backstage, and probably the best Seth Rollins and Finn piece of work in a long time, even beating any other Money in the Bank promotional work. Finn Balor sat there and in 2 minutes gave an exact reason why Seth should face him at SummerSlam. Just a perfect reason, saying he's going to be his nightmare, he's going to put you down, he's going to enjoy it. And Seth Rollins just got his ass beat. And Finn's like, accept the challenge, go to Adam Pearce, blah, 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 blah. And after a couple of weeks ago, when the crowd hijacked the Finn segment, WWE made it up in an extraordinary way. And thank God for Papa H's booking, because now I am way more hyped to see Finn versus Seth at SummerSlam than Money in the Bank. Next up, we had the Viking Rules match. I forgot this was a thing going up to Monday Night Raw. I completely forgot this was a thing. The Viking Raiders versus Chad Gable and Otis. And I thought Chad Gable and Otis were going to win. And I really loved Titus on commentary. It was just super random and out of nowhere. But I popped because I love Titus on commentary at WrestleMania. He went 2 for 2 in the 2 matches that he commentated in at WrestleMania. But the Viking Raiders won, which I thought was a good booking decision. I think that the Viking Raiders need a win, or else, if they keep losing, you gotta wonder where their status is in WWE. And obviously, Alpha Academy is over enough to where if they lose, it's not like they're gonna lose any momentum. So yeah, Viking Raiders winning. It was a fun match. It was a fun match. I mean, the Viking Raiders and Alpha Academy rivalry has been surprisingly good. So this win was big, and this win was really the right booking call, because it helps keep the rivalry more interesting. And also Chad Gable didn't get pinned, which is always a good sign. So after that, Shinsuke and Bronson Reed, a match that wasn't promoted before Raw, was promoted during Raw. And people are wondering why I'm showing this. Look at Bronson Reed's name. It's not just Bronson Reed, it's Big Bronson Reed. And now obviously people are like, oh, obviously other superstars have been given nicknames, Dirty Dom. But at least Dirty Dom was a good sort of choice. Big Bronson Reed is random and not a good choice. I know a lot of people may think it's funny, and I think it's a little bit funny as well, but Big Bronson Reed is just stupid. It just is. I think obviously they're going to keep this on him. Maybe I don't know, but maybe Bronson Reed becomes Miz, a security guard, and he's going to walk around with all Big Bronson Reed. But like I was saying, Big Bronson Reed's a little bit weird, and it's not like Dirty Dom, where the nickname is good. It's just a bad nickname. Next up, we had Shayna Baszler beating Nikki Cross in a matter of seconds. I literally think it was not even a minute long. And Ronda Rousey shut that shit down. She was hiding in the VIP lounge up on the Raw deck. And Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey was cutting a surprisingly good promo to start. You know, if you can read behind the lines of her sounding like she just learned how to do a WWE promo, even though Ronda's been in WWE for a very decent time now, there's some good lines in there. But I don't want to repeat them because Shayna cooked Ronda again. Shayna, in one line, just destroyed Ronda. The entire promo was over for Ronda. Shayna said that, basically, you know, what we do in this ring, I'm a better Ronda Rousey than you are in the WWE. Shayna Baszler, I don't know where this she was great in NXT. Like, I adore NXT Shayna. But the mic work that she's doing right now on Ronda is actually extraordinary. Like, I can't wait to see Shayna do this kind of mic work with other people. Like, her mic work is extremely good. And I don't know, just because it's easy to roast Ronda and point out Ronda's flaws. But this was golden. And Shayna versus Ronda is officially happening at SummerSlam. Now, if there's any match that needs a stipulation, it's Ronda versus Shayna. People have been saying Fight Pit, and I've been saying that's been the perfect match. A submission match would be boring to see. We need a steel cage or a Fight Pit. I think that's simple as that. Doing Ronda and Shayna in a basic submission match or a basic match would kind of be boring, and especially at SummerSlam, you kind of need something to get this match more attention. And I think a Fight Pit match would do just that. Next up, we had Miz TV starring Becky Lynch. This was advertised incredibly late, so, you know, it kind of hits you in the head when it happened. But Becky dripping out again. You know, obviously Miz TV got out of control real quick, which it always does. And obviously Trish and Zoe came out, and Becky just was pushing the narrative that she wants to face Trish. The first time it happened, you know, Zoe screwed her over, and Trish made a compromise, because obviously Becky came at Trish personally, which, I mean, Becky obviously has no problem on the mic at all. She's one of the best mic workers, female mic workers in the WWE. But Becky Lynch has to beat Zoe Stark to get to Trish. That match is happening next week. I 100% think Becky is beating Zoe Stark ass next week. But if Becky loses, then Becky has to get a tattoo of "Thank You Trish" on her chest. She has to bow down to Trish. And Becky Lynch is pretty much publicly embarrassed. But we know that's not happening. I mean, after that, they pretty much gave away that Becky was winning anyways after all those threats by Trish. But Becky versus Zoe is a banger next week. Next up, we had the actual Shinsuke versus Bronson match, which was, you know, kind of what we expected. Big Bronson Reed versus Shinsuke. Kind of basic, not as good as their first matchup. But we got a Tommaso Ciampa spawning, which I was not expecting on the Monday Night Raw card. But Ciampa attacked Bronson Reed. I kind of forgot that Bronson Reed attacked Ciampa last week. And it caused a DQ, and Shinsuke Nakamura blew a gasket. I don't blame the man. I mean, Shinsuke is probably the number one most interfered with guy in WWE. Besides the Judgment Day getting involved in everyone's matches, Shinsuke Nakamura gets interfered on more than anyone else. So this is completely understandable. And this was not the end. Like, Shinsuke attacked Ciampa. I don't think it was a heel turn. But until we got another shot of Shinsuke Nakamura absolutely yelling at Byron, saying, you know, I'm sick of everyone getting in my matches. And BWE, who's like the Woj of, like, if you guys don't know Adrian Wojnarowski, he's like the best NBA analyst out there. He's the Woj of wrestling. He said that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to have an edge now. And me personally, he needs to remain a babyface. Turning Shinsuke heel would not be a good decision. An edgier Shin as a babyface, you could be cooking something there. And then after that, as we head into the main event, we got our second SummerSlam match made official, and our first championship match for SummerSlam, which is a rematch for Money in the Bank, Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. But like I said, this time, this match is going to kick ass, because WWE, they need to promote it bigger than they did at Money in the Bank, because SummerSlam is obviously a bigger show than Money in the Bank, so they need to promote it heavily. And I don't know if the Demon will come in this match. Maybe WWE builds it like they don't need the Demon. But me personally, I still want to see Demon Finn Balor somewhere in there. I mean, he did it versus Edge at WrestleMania. He lost. Maybe Finn doesn't act like he needs it. But this match is going to be a banger. I mean, Finn versus Seth at SummerSlam brings back memories from years ago. I mean, not good memories, but, this time around, I think Finn versus Seth is going to be a great one. But I don't necessarily think either man, wink wink, will walk out the champion. But let's get to our main event. Sami Zayn and KO versus Priest and Dom. It was a banger. I mean, we were all expecting it to be a banger. Sami and KO have been, besides last week a little bit, Sami and KO put on a consistent run of good matches in the main event. And Sami and KO won, but not before absolute chaos. I mean, the Judgment Day looked like they actually could win a couple of times. And the Judgment Day and Sami and KO thought they won a couple of times, but the match didn't quite end yet. And Sami and KO won after Rhea tried to get involved, but instead of Raquel sort of limping out there to try to attack Rhea, it was Liv Morgan who came out. Liv Morgan, the person that we were like, what's going to happen? Rhea's going to go after, Raquel's going to go after Rhea. What's going to happen with Liv? Maybe we're all thinking about it the wrong way. I mean, Raquel versus Rhea is rumored, and that could still happen, but WWE loves to give us suspense. And the night ended with Sami and KO lifting up the titles, and the Judgment Day once again frustrated. I mean, not Finn Balor, because Finn Balor's got a rematch versus Seth Rollins, which is a very important point, that Finn is happy, and the Judgment Day once again are not mutually feeling the same way. But like I said, I know Raquel versus Rhea is rumored for SummerSlam, but hear me out. Liv versus Rhea is definitely a SummerSlam caliber match, and would definitely, I don't care which match happens, I think Rhea versus Raquel will be fine. But honestly, Liv and Rhea just might be a bit better. Now, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one.